Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 202. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host.
Hey everybody, this is Dane Cody.
Dane, Cody, and I get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and or whatever the hell we like. And most often, of course, it is the video games.
Video games!
Welcome everybody, welcome newcomers, welcome new listeners, welcome old listeners, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here and lending us your ear for an hour
or two.
Plus. Yeah, last week I think we got close to 2. If you've never been here before, we usually start the show with our BS section, which we are now knee deep in. Then we get into some what you've been playing, where Dane and I ramble about what games we're currently playing. Our news section, where we talk about the most important news in the industry. Public service announcements, where we share random
important things.
Announcements of stuff you should be aware of, usually deals or subscription service updates, it's whatever we feel like. And then, of course, our free-for-all section, where this week we will be talking about Endgame.
Yeah.
We both saw it, but we will save the best for last.
Heck yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm sure we got some other good conversation that will happen. Awesome news. Dane.
Yo.
Last month was our biggest month ever in terms of downloads. So that's really, really exciting.
That's awesome.
I don't know if that has something to do with the effort that I put in promoting more frequently than I normally do, or if maybe our contests are kind of working and maybe the word of mouth. I don't know. Something's happening because our numbers literally doubled, which was
outstanding.
Pretty awesome.
We're loving it, you people. We're loving you people.
So 2 times 2 is 4. So now we have 4 listeners.
Whew.
It's amazing.
Dude.
The growth.
That's amazing.
Is off the charts.
Whee.
Okay, we have a little more than that, but
that's
anyway.
Good.
This, speaking of listeners and reminding me of our contest, this last episode's contest is closed.
Yep.
So for those of you who are new and just turning in, for the next, I think we have at least one more week of giveaways. We've been celebrating our episode 200, which happened a couple episodes ago, and we've been celebrating with giving away a bunch of awesome games.
Heck yeah. From our partners that have hooked us up, like Sony and Ubisoft and Nintendo, which a huge shout out to all those guys. We appreciate the love.
So we've already given away Spider-Man, God of War, and The Division 2.
Yep.
Last week, we opened the contest up for MLB The Show 19, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and Far Cry New Dawn. And I am going to announce the winners right now.
But first, a message from our sponsors.
We have a message from our sponsors?
No. I just have a funny story that happened to me.
Oh, can it wait?
No, of course not.
Oh,
this is our BS section.
Okay, tell me.
Yeah. So I'm getting in the. I'm at work. So painting a picture. I'm leaving a job site. I'm walking out to the work truck. I open the door. I'm on the phone. I'm talking to my dispatcher. She's like, hey, I'm telling her I'm done this job. I'm gonna go to the next job. She's like, okay, cool. Open the door. I have a Jeep that I drive for work. So I step up into the Jeep. And my pants just go right out of the crotch. And my stuff is just suddenly hanging out for everybody to see.
Wait, you don't wear underwear?
No, I mean, inside the... Come on, I'm painting a picture, okay? I can, So here I am, halfway through my day, with a giant hole in my crotch. So now I had to go find a new pair of pants. So that was the middle of my day today. It was, I got a new pair of pants out of the deal, I guess, but it sucks in the middle of the day to have to, go get pants because you blew out the crotch in a pair of pants.
So is that like a prize for the witnesses? Surprise!
Yeah. Luckily, nobody saw. So, and I was in the store trying to get a new pair of pants, trying to, walk so that I wasn't flashing everybody, It was very awkward. But I got a new pair of pants. And there's my funny story.
Good work.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had that happen before.
Oh man, this is the second time it's happened to me in like the last
Maybe
while.
You need to go up a size there, buddy.
Dude, I think it was the type of pants I was wearing. Like I just, you know what though? I made so hot tip. The new pair of pants I bought, same brand and everything. Key difference here. The key difference now, stretchy, slightly stretchy.
Nice.
You know, like before they were just jeans, like just your classic jeans. These ones, same cut, same everything, but stretchy.
Nice.
That's key. So here's hoping that, there's not as much.
You won't have another accident.
Exactly. So, hot tip.
Okay.
Little bit of.
So back to giving great stuff to people.
See, I'm giving away stories. Now we're giving away video games. This is going to be a hot show. I can tell you right now. This is going to be a good show.
The winner of MLB The Show 19.
See, the show
is Mike B.
Woo!
I will reach out to you. I don't know if they're on the Discord or if they are. I don't know their Discord user name.
Fair enough.
Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu.
Yep.
Winner was freaking Nelson P, aka
What?
Cheeks, in the chat. I know.
man.
I saw that and I was like, I probably should disqualify that win.
Yeah, no doubt.
But he actually has a Switch, so.
All right. That's fair.
And then Far Cry New Dawn, the winner was Matthew M. And I think he's on the Discord. I think that's Matt with a hat in the Discord.
Matt with a hat.
I've seen him around, but I don't think he's ever really taken part in chats. But he is one of the few people who have read the welcome message and gotten a free game.
Sweet.
See?
Reading instructions.
From that. So,
excellent.
we know he's around.
Well,
and all these people have the
congratulations.
right passwords, so they clearly listen to the episode. So
There you go. Or skimmed through and looked for the passwords.
Those were all digital versions, so when I have a chance, either tonight or maybe even before the show goes up, I'll reach out to you guys, probably through the emails you used to enter, and send you the codes for those. And
Sweet.
last week's winners, I did send out your copies of Spider-Man and God of War. Hopefully, I don't know if you guys would have got them yet, because I didn't ship them out till Monday.
Oh, man.
And I also shipped them out the cheapest possible way, so hopefully they get to you.
They'll get there. It'll be fine.
So this week,
Yep.
we are going to give away Red Dead Redemption 2.
Hee-haw.
Our other copy of Pokemon Let's Go, but Eevee, and then The Last Guardian as well.
Awesome.
So let's
gonna be a
kick it off
hootenanny, man.
with the first giveaway. Red Dead Redemption 2, PlayStation 4. The password is Westworld.
All right.
So the password to enter for Red Dead is Westworld.
Awesome.
So with that being said, I think we can get into what you've been playing, because I don't really... Oh, actually, I do... I had a pretty busy Sunday. Not much of a story, but it was a very emotional day, because I went and saw Days Gone, or not Days Gone. God damn it, I'm reading the outline while trying to tell a story.
I was like, wow,
I watched
this is interesting.
Endgame.
Okay.
Then I watched... there's a new soccer league, football league in Canada, the Canadian Premier League.
Right.
And they had their inaugural season opening game on Sunday. So I went to Endgame, went to a soccer game, and then saw Game of Thrones.
Is that the league below the MLS then?
Well, MLS is an American league.
With
MLS
a bunch of Canadian teams?
Yeah, this is... Well, that's the thing, but it's an American league. It's got a couple Canadian teams. But this is an actual all-Canadian league, all Canadian teams.
Oh, okay.
I guess if you want to say it's under MLS, it's smaller than MLS, but it would...
I guess my point is, like, I get a little frustrated with stuff like this, because it's like...
Yeah.
Soccer/football in North America needs all the help it can fucking get.
Yeah,
and
that's
by
exactly
like watering
what this
down,
is.
like in a little bit, like let's start another league, and like,
well, MLS is all American players too.
No, it's not.
Well, it's a high percentage of American players.
It's anybody who they can fucking get to play in their league.
That's true. Same with this as well. But this has more local roots with like programs to get like Like they have younger teams here in Victoria.
Right. Okay. So that was kind of my question. Was like ultimately like for you actually have a local Victoria team.
You're going to go from this to MLS or to national teams or to European leagues. Like this is, so I would say this is like the WHL.
Yeah. Because there's already like an under...
Like MLS obviously is bigger because it has more money and there's more teams. It's more established.
Right, but the MLS also has an under 18 team. Like all of the MLS teams have an under 18 team already, right? So like here in Vancouver, for example, we have obviously the Whitecaps, but they also have their farm team, their under 18 team, and they're building up a ton of like talent in and around the area. So it sounds like that's kind of what you're getting from your team in Victoria.
Yeah, but this is also, I think, we got a big focus on just bringing up football, soccer program in Canada as well to make it even stronger.
No, that's fair.
So it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. It was an awesome environment. They won their first game.
Awesome.
There's a couple scary moments.
Who are they playing?
That's a good question.
You were at the game and you don't remember?
I want to say it was Hamilton. But I don't know the names of all the teams.
Oh, that's fair.
But yeah, it was pretty cool.
Awesome. I like live soccer games. They're fun.
It was the Wanderers FC, and they are Halifax. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Halifax Wanderers.
Sweet.
And they had a game tonight, which is still currently on.
Ooh.
It's tied 1-1.
Good stuff.
So, yeah, my cousin works with the team.
Oh, okay.
And he actually had tickets for the game and was like, it's kind of last minute. I didn't prep Dane on asking if he was cool with recording tomorrow. So,
yeah. No.
That might happen next week.
Yeah.
Heads up.
Let me know.
So, yeah, it was a very emotional Sunday. Movie, soccer, and TV.
Yeah.
A lot of emotions were had.
Fair enough, man.
But, Dane, let's get into what you've been playing.
What have you been playing?
I've still been playing Days Gone because, man, that game is freaking long.
I've heard that, actually.
And, man, were the reviews mixed on this one.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing from a lot of the people that have played it all the way through,
more critical than they are with games for some reason.
Well, what I heard was there's a good game in there, but they should have edited about 20 hours off of it. Is what what I heard.
I haven't gotten to that point because I'm a glutton for grinding stuff.
Yeah, you can be pretty bad about that.
Depending on your tolerance levels for grinding,
it sounds like there's a lot of little things that begin to add up.
But you can mainline the story. Well. Nothing's annoyed me.
See, but you can't really mainline the story. From what I've been hearing, is you hit points where you have to do stuff to unlock the next story beat, right?
You absolutely can.
Yeah.
You can mainline. It's just it doesn't show up right away, so it kind of wants you to go out and do stuff. So I could see people's complaints where it's like, okay, you finish a story, and then I don't know if maybe it was a bug of one of the earlier versions, because I noticed the most recent time I was playing, as soon as I finished the story, people were already radioing me one after another with, hey, I need you over here. Hey, I need you over here. I need you over there. So that might have been a bug that people were encountering, because I heard people's complaints where they're like, well, I'd do a mission, and then there'd be no missions, and then I'd have to go into the world, and then, I'd drive away, and then someone would freaking radio me to come right back.
Now I had to go back into the settlement, and then I had to get another mission.
And I can say I witnessed that in my early gameplay sessions once or twice. But now, literally, I just finished, I banged out, I'm like, okay, I want to see how fast I can move this along, because I think I'm kind of screwing around a little too long.
Right.
With some of the stuff I was doing, though, you do get some awesome rewards, and I'll talk about that in a second. That I was just getting story after story. I did 5, and I didn't have to leave the town and come back. People were radioing me right away. I had it even got to the point where I had multiple quests in the same encampment ready to go. So I feel like that might have just been bugs for people, and a lot of people witnessed a lot of bugs. They've updated the game 7 times.
Yeah.
Since since I've had it. So
I feel like that's definitely one of those cases for like, should have they maybe held off on push like
but I think it had been delayed already a few times. That more delays probably would have gotten more negative press. Like
no, I mean for like people to like I know a lot of people got it quite early. Like you had it quite early. Like you had it like almost 2 weeks before the game came out.
2 weeks, and I think other people had it maybe even earlier than that.
Right, and I feel like that's one of those situations where maybe like I get that it's a really long game, but maybe they shouldn't have given it out quite so early.
Well, I think maybe that was a problem with seeing how many updates. Like, I think there was 5 patches
right
by the time it was out for retail. So there's only been like 2 patches, I think, since it's been in retail.
Right, since
but
actual
before
release.
that, there was like 5. So like that's a lot of bugs, right? You don't update that quickly unless there's like game breaking issues. And
yeah,
I don't know. And see, I didn't really have any issues besides maybe a little bit of jank. But I don't know if I'm just lucky. Maybe my PS4 Pro doesn't have any underlying health symptoms going on with it.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I still am really enjoying the game.
Right.
I think it's weird. You know, like, what did I say? I said it's an 8, but when I hear myself talk about it, enjoying it, it's like an 8.5, maybe a 9. But really, it's a solid 8. It's a good game. Right?
Yeah.
There are some things that are annoying. I complained about the gas, right? And how bad the bikes are on fuel, which makes no sense, because literally it's like you drive down the street, you need more gas.
I mean, you also did like Red Dead Redemption, though, so I mean...
Everybody liked Red Dead Redemption. But I'm still finding a lot of enjoyment. I finally started taking out hordes.
Right, that's what you're saying, yeah.
And taking out hordes gets you some awesome guns.
Yeah.
So if you want to... I think if you take out like 3 or 4 hordes, you get like a fully automatic pistol sidearm. That's really good. It's nice. It's nice backup compared to your main weapon and your special weapon, having like, instead of a handgun when you like run out of all your other ammo, still having a fully automatic weapon.
Right. I can see that being very helpful.
Yeah. What else about Days Gone? Anything else? No, I'm still really liking it. For some reason, I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I just feel like a lot of people are just being unnecessarily hard on it. I don't know why. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's
I don't know.
An amazing game, you know.
I
mean, I guess if you're comparing it to Spider-Man and God of War.
Yeah, and you also got to remember, like, it's also been in development for like 7 years, and it's been delayed like multiple times, and you know, like, I could definitely understand like where you know, and obviously as somebody who hasn't played it, like, I don't know, I'm only going off of what other people have said and like have like talked about in other podcasts and in other articles and reviews and stuff, but it just sounds like to me like it starts off fairly well, and it sounds like it's got a pretty good story, and the characters are like, it's kind of an interesting world and stuff like that, but it just sounds like a game that like needed to be edited better, like down to the point where, you know, they should have shaved off a bunch of time for one, and it sounds like there's a lot of little things that can add up.
Yeah, it is a really,
and
long
at least
game.
for some people, like I know, I was just listening to, you know, Greg Miller over at Kinda Funny on their podcast, the Games Cast, earlier today, and like they were talking about it, and like for him, that's totally what it was. It was like there was like so many little things that over the period of him playing, like he finished the game, and he said it was probably about 50 hours that he put in, or 55 hours. And he just felt like there was so many little things that they should have changed or they should have fixed, that like they just added up. He just said like I think the way he described it was like death by 1,000 cuts. It was just that little, so many little things that just started to annoy you over a long period of time. And like he said,
I had a couple.
Yep.
The gas and stuff, but I listened to that. Listened to that, and I listened to like several, like at least 4 other podcasts where.
But hey, man, like ultimately, that's what's the beauty of video games, right? It's like we all have different things that we find good or bad, and what we can put up with and what doesn't bother us, and you know what I mean? Like,
it's not amazing.
I finished Darksiders 3.
Yeah,
you know, like who would have thought? Like,
like I said, it's a solid 8. It's a good game. If what you see, the open world recipe works, if that's what you like and that works for you, then you're probably going to find something like in this game. Like the story's pretty good. The cutscenes are fantastic. I guess maybe there is a lot of filler if you don't have time for doing lots of side stuff. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to do the side stuff at all. You don't have to grind out the camps. Like I heard people's complaints like, oh, with the respect, and it's like, oh, you got to grind out the respect. Well, if you do a few hordes, it doesn't tell you this. You get a lot of respect for clearing out hordes in certain camps areas, but they don't tell that to you. So
also, it sounds like you can't really take on hordes for quite a while, though.
You can take on hordes if you think you can't take on hordes because I guess apparently there's a story mission where they give you a new weapon. I think it's I don't know what it is because I don't think I've even gotten that far. Even though I'm in the new section of the game where it's like it gives you a warning, you can't go back to these places after, so make sure you do everything.
Right.
So I don't know if that means like I'm in the final stretch or if it's just a very guided story portion of the game now.
Right.
But I don't know this take on this thing that people are talking about because I could take on hordes. I take on hordes with just a machine gun and my pistol. Like it's not hard. You file them down in like a valley or just even down a road because they're not smart. They just charge at you.
Right.
So you have the tools very early. You throw a couple distraction little items.
Yeah.
And then you throw a couple pipe bombs or grenades or even just Molotovs, and you've literally killed like 2/3 of the horde, and then you just clean up the stragglers with your, bullet time, slow down time, focus mechanic, and you're fully autos, and it's like, no problem. I thought they were scary until I took out my first one. It's like, it's quite easy, actually. Yeah. If you have the equipment. If you don't have distraction stuff, and you don't have Molotovs or grenades, yes, it can be difficult if you don't have a lot of ammo and a lot of distance between you and the horde. Right. Because they will run you down, but I guess I've just gotten good at doing it. I think I've cleared like 60% of the hordes in the game. And you get like good guns from doing the hordes. But that's the thing. People are like, oh, there's no rewards for stuff in this game. Actually, if you go look at the progression, you can see all the rewards for all the quest lines and you can choose what to go after. They just don't. And a lot of the stuff, a lot of the reward and stuff in this game, they don't put in your face. And they don't even they don't really tell you in a tutorial. You just happen to be I figured out on my own. Oh, progression. Oh, it's over. Oh, so if I do this % of hordes, I get SMG. If I do this many, I get them fully auto shotgun. If I do this, and then you get these, it's like, but if you don't go in there, you don't know. And then you feel like you get no rewards because, to be honest, just doing the story mode missions, there aren't a lot of rewards, actually.
Right.
Like, because they're just moving the story along. You get the rewards for doing the stuff in the world, I find, more so than the story missions. And if you don't look at that progression, people miss it. And then a lot of people's complaints are like, oh, you don't get anything for doing anything. Yeah, you don't get anything for just doing the story modes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But, hey, if you don't feel like it respects your time, you are entitled to that opinion. That,
totally.
If they feel like it's not good for them, then that's I'm surprised. I just figured it would have been a little higher. I knew it wasn't going to be 10s, but I was figuring it was going to be more 8s around. But like, there's lots of 6s and stuff. I think it was quite buggy in the first few versions for sure, but I really didn't see that. So I still really like it. I'm still working on playing it. I'm not sick of it. I don't feel like it's wore out its welcome.
Yeah, I have I guess I have a little bit of interest in playing it, but for me, I was done with the zombie games long before this came out, and I'm not.
They're not zombies, man. They're freakers.
I don't care. I'm so done with them.
And I think that's part of it, too. I think a lot of people's complaints are like, zombies. And it's like, okay, well, like, are you already not giving it a fair shake because of that? Like, I don't know, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't definitely some of the reviews that I read, like those are from people that are pretty big like zombie fans. And
then people were like saying like, oh, like quality of life stuff, and it's like, well, yeah, they want you to be a like kind of survival-y aspect to it and going out in the world. If they didn't have some of those restrictions, all you would ever do is fast travel around, and you wouldn't feel that survival, like you're always on your toes for survival. And I think that's something they were going for with this game.
I almost wonder if it's a game where they like had a lot more survival stuff in it, And then they just decided, like, maybe along the way they decided, like, it wasn't fun, or maybe it just wasn't a great, I don't know. And so they kind of changed course a bit, but a bunch of that stuff still got left in there, like, and they were trying to balance it, and it kind of ended. Like,
I'm sure
I don't
with
know.
a few patches and hearing people's complaints, like, I bet you they could cut down or tighten some stuff up still after the fact, right? That happens with lots of games too.
Yeah, I mean, they've already talked about, like, I guess a 30-hour, like, golden storyline, essentially, which more or less, like, mainlines the story, and you can just follow it and kind of call it a day. Like I said, I haven't played it, so I can't really say.
Yeah.
All my stuff is all just secondhand from other people, right?
Mm-hmm. If you're interested, if it was on your radar before, I think you should check it out.
That's fair.
I really like it. I got Mortal Kombat 11.
Nice.
Sent to me from by WB. Thank you very much,
you bastard.
Mortal Kombat 11 is pretty freaking awesome.
I'm hearing really good things about it.
Story mode is amazing. Like, all the NetherRealm stuff, they're the premier fighting game story mode guys. Like, every fighting game franchise should copy them, and none of them do, because they all suck. And maybe because it's like an insane amount of work. Their story mode it's ridiculous. It's super campy. It's dumb in all the best possible ways.
That's like, exactly what you want out of a Mortal Kombat story. Then,
like, Mortal Kombat 11 is like got this time bending like thing going on. New characters trying to erase the past, and then there's like multiple versions of characters from different timelines. It's pretty ridiculous.
Dumb as shit and great all at the same time. It's
super gory. It's crazy violent in terms of all like the fatalities and the what do they call those
brutalities?
Moves? When you get your bar down low, you can do like a crazy powerful move. I can't remember what they call it.
Isn't it the brutality?
Is it a brutality? I don't think it's a brutality, but it's kind of like a catch-up mechanic. When you're low on life, you can freaking pull it off on the other enemy.
Huh.
I can't remember what they're freaking called.
I found out that Mortal Kombat 10 was on Game Pass, so I may or may not have installed that in preparation for 11.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. It plays fantastic. You know, if you've never liked Mortal Kombat, nothing's changed.
This isn't going to change your mind.
It's the same tap down forward for
back forward, forward, back forward, A.
Yeah, or double tap forward and the button,
right? Yeah,
so forth. So it's the same fighting style. They haven't changed it up much.
Which, I mean, I feel like that's kind of what Mortal Kombat is, though, right? It's like that's the kind of the difference with Mortal Kombat versus a lot of other games is like that, right?
You've got tons of modes, like this game is like replayability.
Yeah, I hear
like
it can be, if you want it to be, it can be quite the grind.
Yeah, we talked about a story last week about the grind.
It was actually a few weeks ago. No,
was it a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago.
There was a couple updates on that. It's not that bad. They've adjusted it. They've given NetherRealm was giving credits to players. They've changed stuff. A lot of people are upset about it. It was also shown
that story on Reddit that we actually discussed on this show was totally erogenous and wrong.
Yeah,
flat out wrong.
There's been debate on that.
Yeah. So I saw like a breakdown that somebody else had, and it will not cost you $6,000 to unlock everything. Yeah, because
I think the big error with that story is that you can't essentially buy all the stuff.
Right.
But the grinding time number
that is
not
quite
far
possible.
off.
Yeah, that's
so
wrong.
The big error with that story was that they were claiming that you could, if it was, I guess maybe if you read the whole story, maybe he went into saying that if you could buy all this stuff, it would cost this much, or you have to grind this. But I guess it wasn't clear on that you can't actually buy all that stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff you have to earn through. You can only earn through gameplay. I can't speak to any of that stuff because I haven't done any of the crypt stuff, or I haven't looked into any of the microtransaction stuff. It's still apparently pretty gross and grindy from what I've heard from people who have, played with that stuff.
Yeah,
the tutorial is unreal.
Yeah, I've heard it's got an awesome tutorial.
Just an awesome freaking game. It just makes me really depressed that it's like this, like Street Fighter V. Like, really? Didn't have a story mode. The story mode it has sucks.
Well, the one that they patched in after.
Doesn't have this quality level of a training mode. Doesn't have any of the extras like this does. It's just, why aren't every other fighting game copying these guys? And we've said this now for a couple versions now, since I think like Infamous 2 or not Infamous, Injustice.
Yeah,
like Injustice 2. We got Mortal Kombat 10. This started with Mortal Kombat 9, Injustice 1.
Yeah, because this is kind of like the end of that sort of trilogy.
This is like
right?
apparently like the trilogy.
Like 9, 10, and 11 are kind of like the trilogy.
I'm kind of confused with some of the story stuff because I can't remember 10, quite honestly.
Right. See, and now me loading 10 up doesn't seem like such a dumb idea.
It's great. It's fantastic.
That's awesome.
I will be playing more. I will say Sonya Blade, voiced by Ronda Rousey, is freaking terrible.
I've been
it's
hearing that,
bad,
unfortunately.
Like, she just stands out like a sore thumb in any of the cutscenes she's in. Like, as soon as you hear her voice, her voice acting is just bad.
Really,
just bad.
Like, just, oh man.
Compared to the other characters who are obviously, I assume, voiced by professional voice actors.
Well, I know some of the characters that play their movie versions of themselves. That's the real person. Like, they got the movie actors and stuff to actually voice themselves.
Yeah, she's bad. She's not a good actress anyway, so it's not really surprising. I don't even know why they wasted the time and why they replaced the original Sonya Blade actor. It's actually really dumb, but I guess someone really liked UFC and wanted to make friends with UFC people.
I don't know.
But besides that, that's really the only complaint I have. Maybe I'll have some complaints about the currency and microtransactions next week. We'll see. But just
I have heard that it's all cosmetic and stuff. Like, none of it affects gameplay. So
as a story mode and, you know, tons of features and modes, it's a pretty competent package, and I really like it.
That's awesome. That's rad. I look forward to finally being able to play it one day.
I also played a little game called Ding Dong XL.
Ooh, made by a guy right here in Vancouver.
I didn't know he was from Vancouver.
Yeah, and I do.
I know he's a big, kind of funny best friend.
He is.
I think he's even been on KFGD.
He's definitely been on the Gamescast.
Is it the Gamescast?
Yep. Because they are sort of the ones that helped skyrocket this game into, because initially it came out as a mobile game, and then they all downloaded it and kind of made a big deal out of it.
Yeah,
and then somebody reached out to him, and now it's coming out for Switch. I'm
looking at his Twitter profile. So his name is Adam, and I believe the company's name is Nickervision.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right.
I think it's $1 on the eShop.
Yeah,
it's also
really
available
cheap
on mobile. He released it on mobile. Before. He has a bunch of different games. He is especially proud of this version because clearly, like, I guess getting a game on a Nintendo platform is like a dream of his, which has obviously come true now.
Well, he started doing these things as a way to learn how to code.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of took off from there, right? So, which is kind of wild when you think about it. Started off as like a little bit of a hobby, and now he's released, like, I think this is his third game or something like that. And now he's got a game coming out on the Switch. Like, it's pretty cool. Super cool. How, So what is the game anyways?
Ding Dong XL.
I've heard of the name.
Is a game. It's a one-button game. I guess you could say it's kind of like it's not. I'm gonna say it's like a music rhythm game, but it's not, because it's got really cool music. And as you're doing stuff, like, there's different sounds and stuff when you're moving your, I don't know what you call your little ship, your ding dong.
Yeah.
Basically, you have a little ship or your character. I don't even know what you call it, to be honest.
I don't really know what you'd call it either. It's like a little square.
It's just a little ball.
Or a little circle thing, yeah.
Yeah, that appears at the top of the screen, and basically when you hit the button, you fly downwards. And you just go back and forth as random shapes and items go across the screen from left to right. It's a 2-dimensional, really cool lighting effects, awesome, fun music. And it's like one of these like
fun as hell.
Yeah, it's like one of these like it's so ridiculously simple. But it's like no problem.
It's a little bit like Frogger. You're trying to get across the screen, except that instead of you like moving like the Frogger like back and forth, it's like it's almost like you just shoot it and you let it go and hope that it gets to the other side. And there's like the cars, like in a Frogger map, the cars are driving by and you've got to kind of time your shot to shoot it up or down the screen or whatever at the right time so that the stuff in the middle doesn't hit it, right?
Mm-hmm. So ding and dong between the top and bottom of the screen as you attempt to avoid obstacles, collect points, and smash helpful power-ups. Try to survive as long as you can. So
I'm literally buying this game right now.
It's kind of like an endless
runner.
Yeah, well, it's not a runner, but it's an endless game. It gets faster. It gets more difficult. There's more, I guess, shapes or enemies on the screen. And yeah, you're simply just trying to dodge ding and dong between the top and bottom of the screen. Like I said, there's power-ups. You get bonus points for close calls. So like if you kind of skid by one of the shapes going by really closely, you get like a bonus point. But you got to be careful because if you're off a tiny bit, you'll crash into it. There are power-ups that make you faster, one that makes you like invincible for a limited amount of time. And it's just your score goes up as every time you ding and dong, the score goes up. And I was like, oh, this is easy. Like, and then it's like, oh, I did 10. Oh, I did 20. I did 30. I did 50. Oh, I did 30. I screwed up. I did 10. I screwed up. Oh, I did 100. Amazing. I did 120. Amazing. And then, but it gets much more difficult.
Right.
Yeah, it is super fun. I was playing it like nonstop for like a good hour the other day, and I couldn't stop. I'm like, okay, just one more. I gotta go. I gotta play SteamWorld Quest or something. No, I just kept playing it because it's so easy. It instantly launches you back into the game. It's fun. It
has achievements on Google.
It looks...
Dude, this game is fun as hell. I'm playing it right now.
You just bought it on your phone.
I just bought it on my phone. It's great. It's like so much. It's so fun. I got 22 going on here. Oh, and then they get faster. Oh, yeah. As you keep going, they get a little faster, and you got to collect these like power-ups. Oh, and I died. 28. Yeah. There we go.
So, yeah, it's a really cool game.
Dude,
it's a buck.
Yes, it's $1. It's 99 cents. Support some cool people. It's fucking rad. I
was gonna say
this here is the perfect mobile game. Straight up, it loads quickly. You can jump in. You can have a
controls
short,
super simple.
All you do is tap the screen. That's all you do. Just tap your screen. This is straight up. This is exactly what I want out of a mobile game. This is worth your dollar.
It's surprisingly fun. When I first heard about it, I'm like, really? No.
Yeah, straight up.
No.
It's
great. No. And then I played it and I'm like, okay, this game's awesome.
Yep, absolutely. It's simple as heck, but it is fun. It's so much fun.
So hopefully, I'm going to guess that we'll probably see Adam this weekend at the Kind of Funny meetup. We're going to be going to that in Vancouver, by the way. If anyone happens to be going to that, say hi to us if you see us. We'll probably see Adam there, I imagine. And anyway, he gave me a copy, but I didn't. He was giving them away on his Twitter, so I guess in quotation marks, I won a copy of it through Twitter. So I appreciate him hooking me up with that. And yeah, it's a hell of fun.
Dude,
so,
it's great.
If you got a Switch,
go buy it.
Switch. If you got a mobile, if you don't want to get on Switch, it's available on mobile. I believe it's on iTunes as well.
I don't know. We might have to just postpone this podcast.
Okay, shut up. Stop playing. Stop playing with your ding dong,
dude. I want to just play ding dong.
Stop tapping your ding dong.
I don't know.
Stop dinging and donging.
So I'm playing it on Android, but he has come out on Switch as well. Did you get the Switch version or the Android version?
I've been playing on Switch.
Okay. So yeah, I'm playing it on my phone and it's rad. So it should run on pretty much everything. So
moving along. SteamWorld Quest.
Yeah. How do you like the card game?
I actually did play some more of that. That game is pretty rad.
Yeah, you still liking it?
Yeah. It's a JRPG, but it's in the Steam world. We talked about it a little bit last week, but I barely played it last week. I finally played some more. I've unlocked like the third character. I think I'm in the second chapter now. I've seen some more of the deck building. I've actually gotten to the point where you can actually build your deck,
right?
And add and remove cards. It seems like a deck building RPG. This just doesn't sound like a good idea. It's a lot of fun, and it moves fast. Like,
right?
I don't know. I find it's for some reason it moves so nice and smooth. It's got a nice pace to it. It doesn't seem too slow, and then it's bogged you down because your card. It's got a neat mechanic with your cards are specific to each of the characters in your party, right? You've got buffs, you got debuffs, debuffs, attacks, and then of course you got like your more powerful. I guess I don't know if they call them magic attacks, but ones that require steam power. Yep. Which you build up by playing your regular attack cards or lower power cards.
One of the things that is interesting about this game is that your deck is quite small, right? It's only like 8 cards.
No, it's bigger than that. I can't remember.
I just remember like somebody else was talking about it, and they were saying like it's really nice because the decks are so small that you don't have to worry about like building like 40 card decks and stuff like that, like on a lot of other like card building games like that. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
I feel like it's bigger than 8 cards.
I don't know.
Maybe it's 8 at the very start.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah,
because I feel like it's bigger. It's not huge, but I feel like maybe as you get more characters, maybe they're just at the start of the game and you don't have as many cards at the start. I know that much.
No, that's fair.
I could totally be wrong. But a neat mechanic that happens is if you end up playing, you get to play 3 cards a turn.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
If you play 3 cards that are all the same characters cards, you get like a 4th like free like special attack. So you get like a comboing like bonus.
It's kind of like a combo system. That's kind of neat. It's kind of an interesting idea.
And it also has like a run button, aka fast forward button when you're in battles too. So if you're, to speed things up, you can just hold down the R trigger or
that's kind of cool
button on the Switch, and it like fast forwards.
Right.
So it really speeds things up. I'm really liking it. It's got a lot of character. It's got a great art style. I am still quite early in the game. I'm only a couple hours, maybe almost 3 hours in.
Right.
But I could tell right now that there's something special here. And just like the other SteamWorld games, which I really dug a lot. Like,
did you play Heist by any chance?
Heist is the only one I haven't played. I played the Dig ones, which for some reason I missed the first one. And then the second one I like totally went like ape shit for and played tons of.
My wife beat 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Go figure, right?
I really like 2 a lot.
Yeah.
I liked 1 as well, but then I own 2 on the Switch. I played 1 on PC, I believe.
That's
I rebought 2 on the Switch because I liked it so much. I played it on PC and then I bought it on Switch. And for some reason, Heist, I did not play Heist.
Yeah, well, because Heist is like it's a turn-based strategy game. Like that's the thing.
Yeah,
like it's super different.
That's these guys' things. Image Form Games is like they have their world/lore of the SteamWorld robots.
Right.
They just apply it to different games,
like different genres, and
which is
kind of cool.
That's really fun. That must. I don't know. That's kind of neat. It's a good game. You should check it out.
I don't know if it's for me, but if you're into card games, you should definitely check it out.
Don't let the card thing discourage you. It's a JRPG, man.
Okay, fair enough.
Like,
I might check it out then.
When I see you this weekend, I'll bring my Switch. You can check it out.
All right, fair enough.
So you played some oldies but goodies. You got some updates on some classics.
Yeah, so that was the thing. Like, I know that there's a bunch of stuff that has come out, and there's a bunch of new stuff and whatnot. I don't know why. I just, you get in moods and you play what you want to play. I heard that Dauntless has had a bunch of patches. I know that they're running up to releasing on console. I don't know when that is exactly happening, but it is nonetheless. And they released I've been getting emails from them for a while, and I haven't checked in on that game in quite a while. So I thought I would load up some Dauntless, update the game after the 14 gig update or whatever it was that I had to download.
Wow.
That game, wow, they have been hard at work on that game, and it feels so much more like a video game and not like an early access thing at this point. There's a much like I was amazed. They have it feels so much more fleshed out. Like when we played it, 6 months ago, like a little bit after PAX, we both kind of jumped in and played a little bit of it.
I played it more after, like a couple months ago.
We both did, right?
Changed even more.
We both played probably back in October, maybe a little bit into November.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
but yeah. I liked what I played, but
since then they have overhauled a ton of that game. The leveling system is totally different now. There are weapon levels, there are monster levels, there are your actual profile levels. So you have your level, and then everything else also has levels. They were when we played it, there was a thing where you would hunt the different monsters, and then kind of each monster as you would hunt, they would get harder and harder, but the weapons and the armor that you were crafting from them was better and better, and the one below you would kind of cap out, and then you would get something new, and then you would make it better, and so on and so forth. They've more or less done away with that whole system now, and if you want to go hunt, you can make pretty much any of the weapons from any of the animals. You can build them up more or less as much as you want now. There's not kind of that weird sort of cap that was on it. They've obviously, I know I played it since, but I don't think you have. They've added the repeaters, which is the guns. They fleshed that out a bunch more. There's a whole, when they first launched the guns, you could add different barrels to swap out. There was the neutral barrel for hunting neutral monsters, and then there was the ice barrel and the shock barrel and the fire barrel, which is all fairly self-explanatory. You want to use the fire barrel against the ice monsters, and so on and so forth. They have added way more to that now. There's multiple pieces to the guns that you can build, and I just honestly, I'm amazed. I logged in and I was a ton of stuff popped up, and then, saying oh, you're level this and you're level that, blah, blah, blah. I was okay, cool. And then I was going in and I was oh my gosh, there's a whole, they do a much better job of the questing system. So it's not just here's kind of the main quest, go out and hunt these monsters. There's multiple quest givers now, all giving you different things. And some of them are saying okay, well, yes, you have to hunt these monsters, but it's, these ones want you to do it with this types of armor, and these ones it's a game now. It's
nice. That's good.
Surprising.
It was good when we played it, so the better it gets. That's awesome for
them. There is a lot more content there. It's all free still. Obviously,
it's on Steam now, right?
I'm not sure. I've just got the regular client, so from their
I can't remember
from them, so I don't know. I know there might have been talk that was going to go to Steam.
Maybe it's not on Steam.
I'm not sure.
I have no current plans for Steam. Never mind.
Is it on the Epic Game Store?
I honestly thought that maybe I saw somewhere that it was.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that it is a great free game to play, and it's coming to consoles.
It is coming to the Epic Game Store.
There you go. If you really don't want to just download it from these guys, you can always just do that.
Yeah, I don't know
I don't know what the difference is, but if you absolutely have to have your games all in one place, you can do that. They've got all the different weapons. Like I said, there's the chain blades, the axe, the sword. There's the war pike, the hammer, and the repeaters. You're still hunting behemoths. They've sort of started fleshing out the worlds a little bit. I really like this game. There's a simplicity to it that's there, but there's enough, especially now, they're fleshing it out, and it's more complex, but in a good way, without making it feel overly complex, if that makes any sense. They're doing seasons passes, so if you they're doing a really neat thing where, like, right now is the Hunt Pass Season 4, and if you buy into what they call the Elite track, so if you pay money, real money, and it costs, I think, 1,000 platinum or whatever in game, then you get like an upgrade on the Hunter Pass, and it gives you like better as you play the game. Of course, there are different rewards that you get for playing, and if you have the Elite Hunter Pass, then you get, of course, better rewards. But the cool thing is that there's also the basic track, so you don't have to pay money for more or less the season pass, and you're still, as you play, you're still leveling up, and you're still getting free rewards. And, like, yes, they're not quite as cool as being in the Elite Pack, but it's still kind of cool. Like, the fact that as you level up your Hunter Pass, like, you know, so you're still getting something.
Nothing if you stick with the free route.
Totally. I feel like they're doing a really good job of leveraging, you know, if you want to buy the Hunter Pass, or if you want to buy, like, everything that you can spend real money on is it's all cosmetics and things like that. Nothing that affects gameplay.
I haven't heard anything about numbers for this game, but this is like independent. You know, it's kind of hard. I don't think they really released numbers, but I think they've been doing well because they've been consistently adding, and the development has been, you know, getting more features and bigger. So I'm sure that's a sign of the community and the player base being healthy. Mm-hmm. I imagine it going to the game Microsoft or Epic Game Store. That I imagine will probably see a big boost from that. For people that don't know, because like there's a lot of people that have the Epic Game launcher, so there's got to be a lot of positive of getting a free-to-play game on that launcher.
Yeah, it's really cool. They've got if you go on their website, they've got their roadmap and like what they want to do, what they're expanding. They've already, like I said, they've already shown off new monsters. They've already improved on the monster count already quite drastically compared to when I played the last time. Like I said, it's like I feel like they're making moves in all the right places, and it's actually funny because one of the other games that I started playing, Monster Hunter World, was recently added to Xbox Game Pass, and I'm actually worried that because I've been playing quite a bit of Dauntless and because I'm really enjoying it, I'm actually worried that I'm going to find things about Monster Hunter World that are going to bug the shit out of me. And we'll find out.
Any Monster Hunter World?
So this is funny. I put it on here. So last night, it finished installing. I sat down on my Xbox and I was like, sweet, I'm going to get into some Monster Hunter World. I played that game for over an hour, and I have not fought any monsters. I haven't really done anything yet. I've created a character. I've watched a couple of cutscenes, and I've ran across the world. I watched some more cutscenes. I finally chose a weapon, kind of. I've chosen a weapon.
I can't remember the start of that game at all. It was so long ago.
It's crazy. I honestly, like I said, I played over an hour last night, and I've literally done essentially nothing. I've created a character. I created a Palico, and that's pretty much it, really. I like I said, I did a quick jaunt through the beginning.
Their onboarding is a little slower.
Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little painful. We'll see.
You gotta get to the hunting part.
Exactly.
Once you get into the meat of that game, you will realize how, I guess you want to say, streamlined and simplified Dauntless is. Oh no,
and and that's the thing, right? Like, Dauntless has already, compared to the last time I played it, it's already gotten more complex.
Yeah.
And they've already, like I said, but in smart ways, and that's the thing that I'm hoping they're going to continue doing.
Oh, I think that's what they want to do. They don't want it to be this unapproachable, hard to penetrate thing like Monster Hunter World is. But that being said, Monster Hunter World is like the most successful version of Monster Hunter and the most successful version of that game. So they have improved their systems like by leaps and bounds. But still, it is.
So one thing I will say, like already that I did notice, in my brief excursion into the actual world of Monster Hunter World, the world itself feels so alive.
Oh, it's so detailed, like
in Monster Hunter World, and that is one thing that really was
like bends around on itself. There's tunnels, there's underground, there's just treetops,
climb shit. You can just walk over to a cliff and climb it, and all that kind of stuff is really wild. And it just the life and the animals like the ecosystems.
It sucks. Well, now it's on Game Pass, but I know we were talking about all getting on it, but I just haven't been able to find the time.
No, I like I said, I got it installed. I started to play it thinking like, oh, I'll take a look and play a bit, before the podcast, thinking like I'd be able to kind of get started and have a little bit more to say, but like, well, the character customization is not bad, and I got to make a Palico, which is like a little cat thing that's like, I guess, a cat butler that cooks for me or something. I'm not sure. So that's cool. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more maybe next week to talk about.
Play some more.
So that's kind of where that is. That said, go fucking download Dauntless, man. That game is free and it is great. Like, it is so much fun.
I think we've said that several times now.
We have, but it's just so much better than it was even
That's
4 months ago.
I'm glad that they're still making improvements. That's awesome.
And like I said, in the right ways.
So So what the hell made you play? We're moving along on the outline here. What the hell made you play Anthem?
So they released their 1.10 patch, I believe it's called, and it's supposed to have a bunch of quality of life stuff. So a few of the big changes that they have made is when you're walking around the garrison, you can just hit a button and go on a mission. You don't need to run all the way back to your
frame.
Yep,
your javelin.
Your javelin. So you don't have to do that. You can just launch an expedition from anywhere, which is very helpful. That's nice. That's streamlined.
Yeah. You can also, if you were deep in the base, the fort there.
Yes. You can also go to the forge in the middle of a mission now.
Oh, and change your loadout.
Yes.
Oh, that's huge.
That said, if you pick up new weapons, those don't show up in the forge until you finish the mission that you're on.
No, but if you could change your loadouts, that's pretty huge.
That's huge. So that is a thing that you can do now when you're out in a mission.
That's a big improvement.
You can totally pull up your frame. So essentially, like, when you pull up your map, there's the different like blades. Essentially, one of those now is the forge, and you can click in there and you can make changes to your javelin on the fly, which is dope.
That is like, it's mind-boggling that wasn't there from the get-go.
I completely agree. So that was one of the things that was really big that I thought I would check out. The other thing that they've made a big change on is the fact that now when you finish a mission, you can choose to... So when you finish the mission, before, what it would do is it would essentially go to... Right, you'd go to like this weird screen, you'd get all your loot, it would tell you what you got, and then from there you would essentially go back to the garrison or the forge. You had those choices. You could go to the forge or you could go to the garrison, and that was that. Now there's an option in there to continue essentially playing.
Just stay in the area that you're in.
So from there you can either choose to do another mission right from your screen, and then it has the mission pop-up screen that pops up, and you can choose to do another mission, and then you'll essentially just dive into another mission.
Another thing that just seemed like a no-brainer.
Yep. Or if you want, you can go into free play from there, which, then you can, like, if you have a team that you were doing missions on.
Or if you want to just go and find mats in the world for crafting.
Exactly.
Those seem like some major improvements just on basic gameplay stuff.
Absolutely.
Wow, that would really change the flow of the whole game.
Yep. Especially when you have a group, right?
Well, yeah, because before it would break up your group, send you back to the fucking fort,
Exactly.
Or when you're in the world and you brought the wrong loadout because of the type of enemies you're facing.
You're thinking like, a shotgun and a sidearm will be fine, and now
change it.
Nope. So that's kind of cool. So those are all really smart changes. They did drop a new stronghold that I'm not level 30, so I'm not sort of at quote unquote end game. Mm-hmm. So I just ran a few missions to try and help level me up and get a little closer to to level 30 and the end game stuff. But it was mainly, like I said, I'd heard that they had dropped that big patch, and I was just curious how that had sort of affected the game and how the flow was, and more or less just how Anthem was doing. It's been 3 months since it came out. It came out in February. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we're getting up on 3 months, I guess. In the middle, we're about 2.5 months. Yeah. So I was just kind of curious because we played a bunch of it for the first couple weeks that it came out, and then I think neither one of us have really checked in since.
My membership lapsed on Origin Premium or whatever, so I was just like, until they make major stuff, I'm not going to pay for this because
that's fine. And I got the year, so I was like, whatever. I figured I'd check it out.
Speaking of Endgame, me and Teacup are almost at the Endgame of Division. 6 years later, Division 2.
Fair enough. You're closer to the Endgame of that.
We're getting lots of yellow drops now. We're starting to get some real gear. It's kind of exciting.
That's sweet.
But yeah, I guess that's it for what you've been playing. Let's get into some news and stuff. The news. This first story is kind of funny. Remember Epic? Good guy Epic.
Sure. They're the guys that created that store.
Yes.
And said that we'll give
everybody the money. They've been all like diplomatic, right? Sharing the riches.
That's treating the thing that's still going on.
Treating their employees really good. The real stand-up company in the gaming industry right now. I guess
better than some places. Still,
Tim Sweeney did some kind of interview or asked me anything, or he was just asked on Twitter. I don't even know where this came from, but apparently
it was on Twitter.
Someone asked him. He's like, "Hey, you guys on this exclusivity thing, because people have been like ready to burn like the PC marketplace down because they're so upset about Epic. God forbid you having another icon on your desktop, which is the smallest barrier to entry. It's not like you need another console or you have to build a new computer to get games from the Epic Game Store, but the Steam Vanguard."
It's pretty free to fucking download. Like,
are very upset that games are exclusive to the Epic Game Store. Like, they can't download them. Like, for some reason, there's some incompatibility with their PC.
There's an invisible wall there. They can't go there and get them.
It's just fucking ridiculous because, man, people fucking hated Steam, so I don't understand where people come from that Steam is the heavenly PC,
Sometimes Eden. I worry about video gamers, man. I feel like
just the strangest thing. I remember these same people that probably will die on a cross for Steam were probably the same people back when Steam launched in the early 2000s who fucking blasted it. This isn't open, it's closed. I don't want a launcher for my games. I just want the 100 icons for all 100 of my games on my desktop. Fuck Steam. Steam sucks. It doesn't work. Steam, rah, rah, rah. So it's so funny how things change over time, where people are now, please, I want everything in the walled garden of Steam to protect me because I only want one icon on my desktop. I don't want 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 it's just ridiculous. Anyway, so I guess they were asking him, about exclusivity, and he was saying if Steam committed to a permanent 88% revenue share for all developers and publishers without major strings attached, that Epic would hastily organize a retreat from exclusives while still honoring our partner commitments and considering putting our own games on Steam. I think this is a bunch of bullshit, and it's kind of like, let's make Steam the bad guy in this because everyone hates us for doing it, even though, to be honest, there's really nothing wrong with them doing it. I don't see anything wrong with them doing it. It's another fucking icon. You just install the goddamn thing and get the games you want to play.
If you had to pay money,
who delivers it to you?
If you had to pay money to buy, the Epic launcher, that would be one thing.
That would be one.
But that's not the case.
No.
It's free to download. Anybody can download it.
And the game prices aren't more expensive in the Epic Game Store.
No,
and if you're playing a game on the Epic Game Store,
understand this is better for everybody because it's competition. It's making Steam be better. Steam is then going to make the Epic Game Store better. Like, this is a win-win for people who play video games.
And the devs get more money so they can make more games. Like, the real most recent story right now is that everyone's pissed off that Borderlands has a six-month exclusivity to Epic Game Store. It's like, really? Anyway, I think that's kind of funny. To be honest, I call bullshit on that. I don't see Steam doing that because I don't think Steam gives a shit, to be honest. If Steam did, I don't see Epic. This is an Epic redirecting all the hate that they're getting to be like, no, it's Steam's fault. We have to do this because of Steam, man, because they're not giving the money to the devs. They're the bad guy. But if they did it, hey, we'd stop this. I think it's really funny thing.
It's funny, and I mean, hey, man, if everybody gave the developers 12% or 88% versus 70%. Good for them. Absolutely, I'm down for that. So, I mean, like I said, I guess the only thing that I will say in regards to this is, like, obviously Steam has been running Steam for a very long time, and they kind of have a pretty good idea of what it costs to run a game service such as this. And the only thing, I know that Epic, when they announced their store, they've flat out said one of the reasons they could do this was because of the windfall from Fortnite and how much money they were making off of Fortnite.
If Fortnite didn't exist, there would be no Epic Game Store. I can tell you that right now.
Right, but my question then becomes, if Fortnite, and I mean, obviously it's not just going to disappear overnight, but, if Fortnite was to go away and they weren't getting that windfall, how long would they be able to keep the 12% thing? Is that long term? Is that doable? Do you know what I mean? That's, I guess, the question.
Yeah.
Is that sustainable? I guess long term. And I'm wondering, and again, I have no idea. Valve is a closed company. They don't have to give any records. We have no idea how much money they have. We have no idea how much money they make. For all I know, they it could cost them 5%, and I don't know. I'm just asking the question. You know what I mean? Obviously, Epic has said we've run the numbers and we feel that we only need 12% to keep it sustainable and make sure that it stays up. Now I don't know if that's 12% and they're even, if that's 12% and they're only making 1%, or if they're making 2%. I have no idea, right? Yeah. Now, obviously, Valve, named a number a long time ago, and they, but at the same time, they also have decades, literally 10 plus years at this point of data to go okay, this is what we need to be sustainable and also make a bit of money, et cetera, et cetera. Now, of course, again, I don't know if that's 30% or I don't know if that's 15%. I'm not sure. So, I'm really kind of curious how that'll go long term, because this is a little bit of a race to the bottom at this point. Now, is somebody else going to make another... this to me shows that if I was to have a whole bunch of money and be big enough and have enough investors behind me to be able to buy a whole shitload of servers and whatnot and infrastructure, that I could show up and I could build a game store just like this, and I could charge devs 10%. And I could take away a ton of money from Steam and the Epic Game Store at that point, because hey, I'm giving them an extra 2%. So you know what I mean? At what point is this just a stupid race to the bottom where it's unsustainable? Where you know what I mean? There's got to be some sort of happy ground here.
No idea what the cost is to distribute games over the internet.
Exactly, right. So. Time will tell with all of this, and I'm really kind of curious to see down the road if that Fortnite money disappears or dries up, if Epic's still going to be singing that same tune, right?
Nothing lasts forever, but I'm pretty sure Fortnite's going to be around for quite a while.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
Valve's Index was officially revealed. Though we knew this headset was coming, now they have a price.
I did get that press release.
It's $1,000 American.
Yeah. Although they are doing it all piecemeal.
Yeah.
The headset alone is $500.
Which, so if you have an existing Vive setup, you could just get the headset and it will work just fine. Work with the old controllers. There are new controllers. There's new lighthouses, as they call them, or like the tracking for the tracking stuff. I don't know. I don't have any desire to spend $1,000 on a VR headset on PC.
Yeah,
considering how good my PlayStation VR just is good enough that still.
So it's got OLED screens. They're doing 1440 by 1600 per eye, which is the same as the HTC Vive Pro. So that is a step up from the regular Vive and the Oculus Rift,
and even the new Oculus apparently.
Yeah, because that new Oculus is the Rift S. Yeah, it's interesting. They're saying it's going to be everything has a set refresh rate of 120 hertz, experimental support for 144 hertz, and essentially it somehow like upscales 90 hertz up to 120 somehow. I don't know how that all works. But apparently the bigger thing is the new like quote unquote banner feature that they're touting is the fact that it's got a 20 degree larger field of view, so you're getting a lot more screen supposedly. I just think that while these are rad and these are totally what I would love to have, like not having these wireless and not having these costing $300, like the controllers alone cost $280 for a pair of controllers.
US.
Yeah, two controllers, and they're $300 almost. That's crazy. The base stations are $150 each. Like American. So like this is the problem that I have is like if you have the room and you have the space and whatever, like, and obviously the money, and you want like the creme de la creme of VR experiences, then this is clearly it, and that's rad. This is the Ferrari of VR. But this is not going to help VR go down like into the mainstream. This isn't going to help developers build better VR games. You know what I mean? Like this isn't essentially going to move VR forward at all. Like if this thing came out and they were like, yeah, it's $400, that would be one thing. But being $1,000 again, like I'm not going to buy it. You're not going to buy it. Like, what are we going to do? We're going to keep playing our PlayStation VR. We're going to keep showing our friends PSVR. And like, don't get me wrong. Like we would both love to be playing this for our VR. But it is like what this is going to end up costing, and it's going to be $1,500 Canadian or $1,400 Canadian or whatever it is. I can't justify that for what VR games are out there right now. I can't, and like that's until we're seeing full real games, not just a level here and there, and like a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and the same things that we've already seen in VR. Like I need more from that, like I feel like VR is amazing, and I feel like the technology is finally here, and I feel like the software hasn't been able to catch up and live up to what the promise of VR is yet.
The Oculus Quest seems pretty promising.
Yeah, a standalone VR. I mean, it's essentially using heads like cell phone guts, like.
But just the wirelessness is kind of cool.
I like that, and the inside-out tracking, so you don't need lighthouses and that kind of stuff, which is cool for sure. And that's the other thing. This is not wireless. It's wired. You need your wires and stuff. So, yeah. I mean, I hope that it's at PAX, and I hope I get to play with it and see it, and then of course I'm going to want one. And then I'm going to see the price again, and I'm not going to want one. And round and round we'll go. Yeah. I don't know. But hey, I guess if it helps the other technology come down in price, then that's good. I don't know.
Yeah. Moving along. There's a new Earthworm Jim game from the original creators.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll need the Amico, the new Intellivision console, due October 2020 to play it. So Tommy Tallarico, who's conveniently both Intellivision boss as well as Earthworm Jim 1 and 2's composer.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's on the project, and I guess some other members as well.
Apparently he's claiming that essentially they got the whole team back together. Like the original Earthworm Jim team, they pretty much got the whole team back together. The creators, the artists, everybody, it's sounding like, are coming back together. 9 other members from the original team. Like it'll be curious. They're doing a 20-minute live stream on Saturday to discuss and talk about it and stuff like that.
It's kind of neat. I did not see this coming. That's for sure.
I didn't either. I just worry, like, honestly, who the fuck is going to play this thing, man? Like, have you seen the controllers for this Intellivision console? They look like iPods. There's like buttons on the sides and like a weird touch screen and like a little.
We talked about it last year when it was
announced.
revealed.
Like it just, I'm wondering. Like I'm looking at this controller and I'm going like, how the fuck am I going to play a game on that? Like that.
Yeah. I think I said I smell a failure or a bomb with that thing, but we'll have to wait and see. Not that I want anyone to fail, but
I don't either. I mean, I love Tommy Tallarico. He's great. He showed
I know
up.
People love Earthworm Jim. That's for sure.
He showed up at a rad PAX panel a couple of years ago, and as he was one of the composers on the Sega Genesis version of Aladdin, which everybody knows is the superior version of that game versus the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And that was literally what the panel was about. Which one of those games was the better version? And he pretty much showed up and laid the smackdown and explained exactly why it was the better version. So that was pretty rad. So there you go.
Our next
This is a weird story, though.
Yeah, it just came out of left field today. I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
Epic acquires Psyonix and will remove Rocket League from sale on Steam, apparently. The story has been updated. Epic offered an update on their confusingly worded statement issued to press earlier today, and they're like, Rocket League's future status on Steam, now insisting that it has not announced plans to stop selling the game there. So everyone was like, oh my god, they're going to remove it from Steam, which is kind of crazy because Epic has like no friends list and multiplayer tools. And it's like, okay, now you got Rocket League, which is like one of the probably top 10 multiplayer games on Steam on PC. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's a shrewd move, man. By these guys, like because in the original story, they're continuing to sell Rocket League on Steam. They've not announced plans to stop selling the game there. Long-term plans will be announced in the future. Originally, earlier today, when they first talked about this, they were saying that Rocket League will remain on sale through Steam, and they will continue to support the people that essentially paid for it there, but that moving forward, they were going to be moving it to the Epic Games Store. And now it sounds like they've kind of walked that back a bit, so we'll see what that actually means.
Was pissed.
Yeah. And apparently there's 57 million registered players of Rocket League.
It's like an ex-IGN guy who is one of the main people on that team.
Huh, apparently that's crazy.
He's doing very well now.
Seems like they're doing all right.
Rocket League is quite successful. It's a fun game.
But it's a shrewd move. Take a huge game that is on Steam and then just buy the studio.
Hey, but remember, we wouldn't do this stuff if Steam gave everyone their 88%. This is not...
Well, I don't think that this has anything to do with that.
Well, it's still an exclusive, so what... Oh, they're only doing exclusives.
I mean, technically, it's an exclusive on Steam right now.
Yeah, I guess. That's true.
I mean, one could argue that's the other thing is you could come at this from the other angle if you really want. Is that right now Steam has exclusives on everything?
This is dumb.
how many games are exclusive to Steam right now?
Yeah. So
why aren't they on GOG? Maybe I want that shit on GOG, or maybe I want it on something else.
Just stop.
I want that shit on Uplay. Screw you, man.
I want it on Origin.
Exactly.
Said no one ever.
Look, man, I got all that shit installed anyways. I don't give a shit. Put it out on Origin or Uplay or Steam.
Let's be honest, no one's ever asked for something to be on Origin. So the big news of today was the Borderlands 3 debut. They had a big event down in LA, I think it was.
Oh, probably.
They had Randy Pitchford. They had the team up on stage. They did like a walkthrough talking about new features, what's coming back, old characters, new characters.
It sure does look like a Borderlands game.
Yeah, it's Borderlands. You got a couple new. I think it's 4 new characters. I guess your classes per se.
Yep.
Tons of guns. It's still Borderlands. You got
billions of guns.
Co-op action. All the RPG progression. The shooter looter, which it's a schluter. I thought it was really funny. Randy Pitchford, several times through the presentation, was like, we created the shooter looter, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Honestly, just shut up. I just thought he kept saying it over and over. When we created this genre, the shooter looter franchise, or the shooter looter genre that we created with Borderlands, I'm like, oh my god, someone's slapping this guy. Anyway, besides getting annoyed about that, it was a pretty decent presentation. The game looks rad. If you like Borderlands 2, it's more freaking Borderlands. The one thing I said that I think was really cool about this event, they actually had a Twitch extension that if you were watching streamers as they opened up rare chests, you as a viewer had an opportunity to get loot for your copy of Borderlands 3. That's
kind of cool.
That is really cool. That was really neat. The extension shows the streamers loadout and skill tree and stuff like that, so you can inspect their stuff without hey, what tree are you in? What loadout you got? What gun are you using? What are the perks on the gun? This and that. It's no, you can just click on a little extension and it shows you all that stuff. It was really neat. And the fact that you get loot, I think that is probably one of the most, it's not really, I guess it's a feature of the game, but how the hell do you get people to watch your streams? Give them free shit. And when your game gives you loot for what? That's pretty awesome. So say you're at work and on your lunch break, you can't play it, but it's a game you're totally into and you can watch someone on your break, get some loot for when you get home. That's really neat. I thought that was a really cool thing about the presentation.
That is really neat.
I thought it looked good. I'm super excited to play it. I really liked Borderlands 2. We played tons of it. I will definitely play Borderlands 3 on the Epic Games Store. It looks
very much
it's more Borderlands. It's more Borderlands.
If this does not look, we'll see. Like I said, for me personally, if it comes out and it gets rave reviews and everybody absolutely loves it, then I'll probably take a look at it. Otherwise, at this very moment, I'm kind of neither here nor there. So.
Our next story, I kind of touched on it and what you've been playing. Mortal Kombat 11 got a big update, makes the game apparently less of a grind. I don't really have much to say. If you're interested, the link will be in the show notes. It shows all the stuff that they patched here. I don't really think we need to go into all of that stuff, but
it's a big list.
I'll play more. I probably won't even, because I've played so little and haven't dealt with any of that stuff, that I won't have anything to really compare to after this patch now, because this has already been, this has just been released. That's a good thing. Take the feedback, adjust it. That's how this all works. That's the one nice thing in this, update era of games, is nothing is broken forever. The problems can be fixed.
Right. Or at least in theory.
Yeah. And Nintendo news, Persona 5S is coming to Switch. Oh. Persona 5S isn't a Switch port. It's Persona 5 Scramble. It's a Musou game, which was revealed after we recorded. When we recorded, we had details of Persona 5 Royale with Cheese version.
Right.
Which was the fancy updated version for PS4. It's coming out next year. This is Persona Dynasty Warriors. And the internet exploded.
With disappointment
yes,
and shame.
And I am disappointed. Like, cool.
But you know what? To help with that disappointment, this seems like an opportune time to give away a copy of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
To offset the disappointment?
Exactly, right? Like,
happy? Okay.
Yeah, like, you're listening, you're, like, super bummed out. You're like, man, well, that's shitty. I was hoping for Persona 5 on my Switch.
Well,
we can't help you there, but if you're hoping to get some Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and you don't have that yet, and you're like, well, that might be fun to play, we have a chance for you. Rick, what's the password?
The password is Team Rocket. The password, again, to enter the giveaway for Pokemon Let's Go Eevee is Team Rocket.
So there you go. If you don't own a Switch, you don't, then obviously don't enter. But if you do and you don't own the game yet, then, Team Rocket.
Yeah, this was a surprise. Not the surprise that everyone wanted. I'm sure there's 10 people out there that are really excited about this. Actually, it's probably more because
maybe 20.
These games are actually pretty popular in Japan, but I don't know.
I mean, who knows? I feel like those guys... Like with the Musou games, like
they're
the Omega
good.
Force guys,
I really like
some
the Fire.
of them are good.
I really like
some
the
of
Fire
them are terrible,
one.
though. Right, but some of them are not so good, and that's where it's like the hard. Like, is this going to be a good one, or is this going to be a not so good one? We will find out.
Yeah. Nintendo has no plans to announce a new hardware at E3, according to Nintendo president and CEO Shintaro Furukawa said during the company's financial results. Rumors say there's going to be a new one. Maybe they won't do it at E3. Maybe they'll do a direct after the fact. I don't know. Rumors seem pretty rampant right now about that lower cost version, and they've even been saying out at the end of June. So I don't know why you wouldn't announce it at E3. I don't know. Or maybe he's just saying that shit because he's like, nah, not happening. Surprise, it's happening.
If this wasn't in an earnings call, I would think
that's the thing, because it was
like they're not allowed to, like, these are earnings calls where we're talking about financials. You're talking about investors, you're talking about that kind of stuff.
You kind of don't fake out stuff or insider trading type crap.
You're literally not allowed to, because that is literally what people are, like, investors and people that are making money and you know, debating whether or not to invest with your company and so on and so forth. You don't really want to say, like, oh, we're not going to be releasing hardware because...
Well, he said no plans to announce at E3.
Right. So I mean, like, that's to curb investor, like, worry, and there's a whole reason why you'd go about that, right? So
I want the new updated one.
That's not to say they don't have anything to say in September, right?
Or at the end of June.
Exactly, or July,
or at Gamescom,
or Nintendo or Direct, exactly, or at PAX. I mean, who knows?
Not at PAX.
Hey, you never know. I'm just saying, throwing it out.
Follow up on the big moving along into PlayStation news. Following up with Sony's PS5 stuff. Was that last week we talked about? I believe it was.
Week before, I think.
Or the week before. I can't remember. But anyway, Sony basically said PS5 is not due out before April 2020. So don't expect much more talk or a reveal anytime soon.
Because they're saying it's not going to launch within the current fiscal year, which ends March 31st, 2020.
How long have I been saying new consoles at the end of 2020? End of 2020? I've been saying that for a while now, so that's
maybe
it's going to be revealed next year. It's
could be June
as well. And speaking of PlayStation, PS4 worldwide have topped 96.8 million systems out there.
Whew.
We are on track to be to hit the 100 mil mark, and the PlayStation is doing quite well.
Yep,
very well.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is insane. It's gonna be, what is it, the third or fourth Sony system to hit over 100 million?
Third. The PlayStation 3 didn't. It hit 89 point something million.
So the PS1 is
just short.
The PS1 and the PS2. So
yeah, and actually, I think the No, not the PSP. The PSP didn't make it.
No.
Yeah. No, that's
Good for Sony.
Yeah, they're gonna push it over. I don't think it'll hit the same. Like the PS2 was over 150 million. That's the best selling console
not
of
with
all
a new
time.
system coming out next year. But then again, with the new system being backwards compatible, the PS4
we're talking about
does
another
have, I think, a
50
longer
million,
tail
though.
than we expect.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because when it goes down to under $200 and the PS5 is $400, but you can play the same games as the PS5. They just don't look as good. $200 or less.
Well, no, no. That's not going to work the same way. So the PS4 games are going to be backwards compatible on the PS5.
I think it's going to be more cross-generation gaming because of the backwards compatibility of the PS5. I just think it's going to have a longer tail for sure.
We'll see.
Getting into our public service announcements. Xbox games for gold for May. We've got Marooners. Never heard of it. The Golf Club 2019.
Oh, hell yeah. Give me some golf action, baby.
On Xbox 360 back compat, we've got Earth Defense Force.
EDF.
Insect Armageddon.
Which one? Oh, that one's just classic.
And Comic Jumper. Another back compat 360 game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Comic Jumper.
It's quite the lineup.
Not
Meanwhile, Game Pass
great.
is killing it. PlayStation Plus and Games of Gold have really fallen to the wayside, to be honest. PlayStation Plus games for May were also announced. We're down to the new 2-game thing, straight up PS4 games. We've got Overcooked and What Remains of Edith Finch. Those are
I own both of those games on PC.
Those are both really good games. So
I need to play Edith Finch.
They're not AAA games. Edith Finch is apparently, I haven't played it either, but apparently it's like a good, tight 2-3 hour experience. It's supposed to be pretty awesome. My one friend says, you have to play it, it's amazing, and I just haven't.
Yeah, I know, I keep hearing that as well.
And Overcooked is supposed to be a lot of fun. So yeah, that's your freebies for both the Xbox and Sony's platforms.
Still free games. Can't complain about that.
Free for all. First Sonic the Hedgehog trailer is out, and it's a mate. It's a something. The only thing I have to say is, why the heck didn't they just make a CG movie? Like, why did they have to make this in real life? Like, it just looks bad. Sonic looks terrible. His face when his mouth is closed looks kind of cute, but his body looks like just
weird,
wrong. It's wrong. They should have just stuck to CG art style of the cartoon. Get all the original voice actors. Boom, done. People would have liked it. But this thing, it's like I got Jim Carrey in it, James Marsden. Like, they're not crappy actors.
I know.
It was filmed on my island.
Yeah, and over here as well, and
and your buddy has like a huge role in it, which like it's good, bad. Like, he's getting paid. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. So I mean, full. I guess. Yeah. A good friend of mine is one of the. He plays the assistant to
that you see in
Jim
the trailers,
Carrey
right?
/ Dr. Robotnik. Yeah. So I mean, I will say he.
You know what? It's gonna be so bad.
I'm gonna watch it because one, I love my friends and I'm gonna support them regardless. And if already from what I've seen, his part in it is great. And it's really interesting. My first, I watched the trailer and my first thought was, oh my god, what the hell did they do? And then it was really interesting because like I showed the trailer to my wife, who has never played a Sonic game. She knows 0% about Sonic, knows nothing about it. So she was completely the freshest of people ever to get into this.
Minds. And
yeah,
opinions.
Totally. And I was like, yeah, so this new trailer dropped, and I like sat her down on the couch and we watched it. And then I was like, what did you think? And she was like, that seems funny. She's like, I'd see that. That looks fun. So, I was like,
coming
okay.
at it with a lot of baggage.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so I think that, I think that, yeah, as video game fans and as people that, or, maybe don't even like Sonic necessarily, but like, yeah, like I think that coming at it with the amount of baggage that we do, like maybe we're being a little bit overly critical. I don't know.
It has the potential to be something good.
Yeah.
There is good in Sonic. Like, there's more bad than good Sonic stuff over the history of the franchise and the character.
Totally.
But Sonic standalone design as a character.
As a kid, I loved the couple Genesis games. I loved Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles. I thought those were great, especially when I was younger.
Yeah.
And that first cartoon, the first Sonic cartoon, I really liked. I was also like 14 or something like that. Or no, I was younger than that. But I thought it was cool, and I really enjoyed it. Since then, I can't really say. I know that they've released multiple Sonic and Sonic X and whatever else.
I was always a Nintendo kid, so to me, Sonic was quite inferior. I respected and liked the way he looked as a character. He was well designed, and like I liked his aesthetic and art style and stuff. I'm like, he deserves to have some success. But man, like,
see, and I had both. I had a Super Nintendo. I had a Genesis.
I had a Genesis, and I still didn't like Sonic because Super Mario World was so much better.
That said, the first time that I put my like Sonic and Knuckles cartridge and I dropped my Sonic Hedgehog 2 cartridge in top, and suddenly I could play Knuckles in Sonic 2, like that shit blew my mind. Like, that was crazy. I was like, that was, like I said, 10-year-old me or whatever it was, like that was crazy. I was like, this is super cool. But yeah, like, so like, obviously I have that love of Sonic, like, not that I'm a huge Sonic fan, because I'm not, but I definitely have some of that nostalgia for Sonic.
So you just wish that it would get a better treatment.
So like, I hope, and who knows,
It'll probably be entertaining.
I'm hopeful.
But the Sonic design is terrible.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm the biggest fan of the way that Sonic looks.
He's already not real. Like, why didn't you just stick to the big red runners and the skinny little twiggy legs and make him more anime looking? Yeah, you could give him fur, but it's like, meanwhile they make Detective Pikachu and people are like, oh, he's super cute. He's kind of weird looking, but
sure.
But he comes, he looks like a cute little free cat. It's the better. I don't know. That's unfortunate. It might be okay, but right now it looks terrible. But
yeah, like I said, I will see it. Regardless. And
speaking of awesome things instead of wasting our time on Sonic, we both saw Avengers Endgame.
We did.
And maybe we'll watch, maybe after we watch it again, we'll have like a spoiler episode or something. Do a little special like breakdown or talk about our favorite stuff. Do we want to give away our last code for the evening before we dive into any of the Avengers stuff? Just in case. I don't want to give it, like, we're not going to jump into deep spoilers, but in case you're very sensitive.
somebody, yeah, exactly. If somebody is like, fuck that, I don't want to know nothing about it. Anything. I don't want to have to dive into
I don't want to talk about any details. It's still too early. It hasn't even been out. It's what? It hasn't been out a week yet.
It's not even, well, it's essentially, it'll be a week when this goes up. But that being said, we're giving away The Last Guardian, and I thought it fitting that the password for this is vaporware, because we all thought that it might end up being that
it was never
at some point or another. Exactly.
So The Last Guardian on PS4. The password is vaporware.
Yes.
So yeah.
So if you're looking for that, there you go.
I saw Endgame on Sunday.
I saw it on Saturday.
I was expecting to see it in IMAX 3D, which I wasn't super keen on. But their projector had issues, so we saw IMAX just 2D, which it was fine by me.
Okay, right. You're not a 3D guy, anyways.
No, it's fine, but I don't care.
You're weak. You're weak.
Endgame is amazing. It is so good. Oh my god, there's so many surprises and twists and turns that I did not see or even anticipate at all.
There was definitely a thing that happened near the beginning that I went, oh shit, what the... And then I was like, how the... Huh?
There was a lot of oh shit moments. There was a lot of what? Like surprisingly good, like, oh my god moments. And there was a lot of emotion, man. I almost cried like, I think 3 times.
I cried at the end of that movie. Oh, straight up. I totally did.
I physically fought very hard to not make an audible sound at the end, but I was full, like, ready to bawl, like, it was bad.
I got a little misty eyed when I saw the cameo, just because obviously
the Stan Lee cameo, obviously, right?
Yeah,
that's not a spoiler.
Yeah. No,
it is unfortunately his last one.
Yeah, and it just that kind of hit me harder than I thought it would. But yeah, that man, I have many thoughts.
I have lots of thoughts
that I will keep to myself.
Spoiler territory. Maybe next week.
Yeah, we're gonna
hang out. We're gonna hang out this
it's...
weekend, and
yeah, exactly.
If nothing goes on, I kind of want to watch it again.
It's a long movie to watch again.
It's a good movie, though.
It is.
It's fantastic. It's quite the culmination to the decade plus of movies that they put together. It's quite the send off, for characters are moving along. Storylines are changing. There's so much fan service. It's freaking ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
You have to see this movie.
I feel like if you've been following along with the Marvel
there's no way you
cinematic universe, you have to see it for sure. If you've dabbled a little bit here and there and you don't really care, then I feel like, in all honesty, watching this movie, you would just be like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't even know why I care. What? Huh? Like
I don't know if anyone could possibly watch this without having watched Infinity War. That would be weird,
right? Because but even not even just like, I think the thing that people forget is, like, this is the accumulation of 10 years plus of building characters and building relationships with characters and getting to know these characters and their stories and their personalities, and all accumulating into this, you know what I mean? So, like, if you just watched Infinity War and then watched this, I don't think that it would have nearly the impact, just because you don't have any of that. It's just none of that build up.
No,
you know what I mean?
No franchise has ever. Yeah, you've never had that much time.
This has never happened before.
No.
This is the first time this has ever been done.
In terms of movies, this happens on TV series all the time.
Totally,
but,
totally.
In terms of movies, no, nothing like this.
But I mean, it's not just the movie though, right? Like they had television tie-ins. There's been comic book tie-ins. This is the first time a media property of this magnitude has put so many pieces into place across so many mediums, and that all fit together,
and
right?
Fit together really well. If you want to talk about spoilers, we did create a spoiler channel on the Discord. Yeah, so, definitely. And if you join the Discord,
catch our thoughts.
Maybe mute those channels so you don't accidentally get spoiled.
If you don't want,
it sucks that you can't create a channel muted from the get go, and that people have to opt in to unmuting it.
Yeah, So yeah, we will definitely.
I think maybe
do
next
a bigger,
episode we can do a
Endgame
spoiler cast at the end. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
and we can talk about it more, our favorite moments and whatnot. But it's an awesome freaking movie.
But definitely,
I want to go watch it again so bad.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster ride. It's got
that. It is.
The amount of surprises and crazy stuff that happens. It's unreal.
Yeah. And shit that I didn't see coming.
I didn't see a lot of shit coming, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of, like, shit happening, man, that last Game of Thrones episode.
Yeah. I, again, still haven't watched since, like, season 4.
We were talking about it in the Discord. Wow, that was quite the ending. I will say the internet is ablaze with complaints that HBO's compression is absolute garbage.
Oh, really?
The last few episodes.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people with especially with shitty TVs were having a very difficult time watching that episode.
I was watching it on my 120-inch big screen, and there's so much like compression on the video. It's like literally, I don't know. It's like they have it on low. It's terrible. It's so blocky. And it's hard to see anything. It's
interesting.
Like literally, I'm gonna have to watch the season again when it comes out on Blu-ray or something because it's so hard to tell what's going on in some scenes because it's the last episode is about the long night.
I don't know.
So it's dark.
No spoilers.
I know,
but
no
I do
spoilers,
understand there's
dark.
a very big
because the compression is so bad. There's like no detail.
That's interesting.
Really hard to see
I was reading
stuff.
some articles.
It's very disappointing.
I was reading some articles that were saying like this is the perfect excuse to own an OLED TV.
I don't think an OLED would have been much better when the video quality is so compressed and bad to begin with. An OLED doesn't magically make it better.
Yeah, I don't know though if a lot of those pixels that were black, if you're watching them on an OLED, they're just black though. They're just shut those pixels off, so you wouldn't get a lot of that.
But that's not the only problem. Is the compression was the lack of detail. It wasn't just the blockiness of like dark areas looked really bad.
But you have the contrast on the OLEDs. That's the thing, right? You have like so much higher contrast, so that the light and the dark.
People were complaining the stream was super compressed. A bad stream's a bad stream. It's like they were using their web stream on live TV, and it's like, no, you don't have to compress it so much for your TV. You could use.
You sure it's not your provider and your channel?
No, it was all providers who were complaining.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I didn't watch it.
Apparently,
so
the stream from HBO was just shit because a lot of broadcasters like, no, that wasn't us, man. That was from HBO.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because that episode was great, but it deserved better because it just looked bad because of the compression.
Well, that's a shame.
With that being said, Dane, I think we have an episode 202 in the gigabits and your ear holes.
Yeah, man.
You can follow me on Twitter at RickF, no K, RICF.
And as always, you can come yell at me on Twitter at Dane Cody, at DAYNECODY.
Make sure to join or enter the contest, please. Even if you don't have an interest in any of those games, just join the contest to help get the word out. Let's continue the train of this best month ever keep going.
Heck yeah.
And yeah, leave us a review on iTunes or the App Store, or not the App Store, the Apple Podcast app. If you're on an Apple device, would be much appreciated. And of course, like us on all our social medias: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We're Geekoholics everywhere.
Yeah,
we did do some messing around to try and get the stream up. We have to spend some more time doing that, but we actually did make an effort to try and do a live stream.
We're going to be getting there.
We've been saying it forever, but that was the first step. So there was some effort on that.
One day, if you could watch us record this shit live.
If anyone out there knows how to do, two Skype sources into one to stream up to Twitch and want to help with that, feel free to reach out to us on the Discord because we were having issues with that, but it'll happen. We're going to be in Vancouver this weekend. We're going to the Kind of Funny meetup.
If you're there, say hi.
If any of you guys happen to be there, we'll be there as well. And yeah, with that being said, that's episode 202, and we are out.
Catch you later.
Peace.